What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. So, I recently talked about Stephen A. Smith and the fact that he was going on Fox News to spew that BS about Black people relating to Trump because of the legal issues that he is currently involved in. And it's just ridiculous. But I was wondering if he was going to come out here and do his little thing and try to backtrack or apologize. And lo and behold, it didn't take him very long. And that's exactly what he did. I want to share Dr. Rashad Richie from Indisputable's response to Stephen A. Smith's response because it was just bullcrap.
I said so. Stephen A. Smith apologizes again. All right. Let me go to the original comment he made that caused outrage, and we'll show the apology. Here it is. By Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how Black folks, he's hearing that Black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what Black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that Black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we have. Damn shame, Stephen A. So let me say this. Stephen A., when you said our iconic leaders, I can only assume you're talking about people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, etc. So you have equivocated Donald Trump to the persecution that happened to people like Dr. King? Dr. King stood for righteousness. Donald Trump stands for evil. Dr. King believed in the greater good of humanity. Trump believes in the greater good of himself. Dr. King did not commit a crime against this nation. Donald Trump has committed many. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. A week later, Smith apologized for his comments. Here it is. A lot of folks in Black America seem pretty pissed at me right now, from friends and loved ones to colleagues, contemporaries, and dare I say even the NAACP itself. Quite a few folks were put off, if not flat out offended, after my words were interpreted as associating support for Trump from the Black community with all the legal issues he's facing. For that, I sincerely apologize. To be clear, my words were misconstrued. I'm stating right here for the record that my words were taken out of context, misrepresenting and depicting me in a way I found every bit as insulting and disrespectful as folks in Black America evidently felt about what they thought I said. But I'll own it anyway. Man, bring your ass to the bullpen. Please bring your ass to the bullpen, Stephen A. Please tag Stephen A. Troll him. I don't give a damn what you got to do. Producer, send the official invite out. Stephen A., I'm going to reserve the rest of my commentary to your happy ass jumping this bullpen with me. Because, sir, it is time for you to get a proper education. You have been reckless for far too damn long. So here it is, Black voters. Insofar as Trump gaining support in the Black community, well, how about various publications with these headlines? The Chicago Tribune. This time, Trump really does seem to be making Black voter inroads. Why? The Washington Post. Voters of color are shifting right. Are Democrats doomed? How about the New York Times? As Black voters drift to Trump, Biden's allies say they have work to do. Axios wrote, Big Biden bummer. New York Times Siena poll shows gaps with key demographic groups. Wall Street Journal. Biden loses support among Black men. The Hill. Biden losing support among black voters in swing states, survey. Al Jazeera, why are black voters backing Donald Trump in record numbers? And CBS News, black voter support for Trump up from 4% to 23%, poll finds. Why did I say all of that? Because I want to show you I didn't just open my mouth. I read, I listened, and I've seen a momentum shift, as we all have. Stephen A., you did just open your mouth. Obviously, you didn't read the articles, but because you cited them, I took the time to read every single one of them. All of those articles point to the inaction and the non-delivery of the Biden-Harris administration as a collective frustration being shown by black voters, in particular, young black voters in the United States of America. It is not indicative that black voters are somehow in cahoots, congruent to the policy of Trump being arrested, and nothing in these articles suggests what you stated on the record, dear brother, that he is getting support from black people because woe is him, being prosecuted by the criminal justice system. Black folk are saying to Democrats, policy-wise, get it together. It is still a very intellectual dynamic, even if you disagree with it. But you suggested, flat out said, it is because black folk identify with Trump being arrested, which, by the way, most black people in America will never be arrested. Most black folk in America will never have a felony. Most black folk in America will never go to prison. I don't know why you think most black folk in America would identify when most black folk in America don't even have the experience you speak of. Maybe you didn't know that either. I read every single one of those damn articles that you quoted, all of them. And every single one of them points to the inaction of the Democrat. It's a policy dynamic, not a dynamic of Trump being arrested. And then to the outlaw poll that you mentioned at the end, that Trump has over 20%, it was favorability rating rather than would vote for. You have to look at the question of the poll. The poll is not talking about will you go and vote for Donald Trump. The poll was about basic likability, style, etc. Come on, man, get it together, brother.
So you heard that. And the fact of the matter is, he could have kept that, because him coming out to, say, I got a lot of black folks upset with me, and then my words were misconstrued. He said himself, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. This is the truth. He said this. Who apologizes for the truth? And what he gave was not even an apology, because when you apologize, you don't come with standing 10 toes down to say, well, this is why I said what I said. If you look at these articles, if you look at this poll. So you're basically saying that you believe what you said. So just stand 10 toes down in it. Don't come out to try to backtrack and then not backtrack. It was just a waste of time. And a lot of people were just not here for it, like D.L. Hughley.
Stephen A. Smith, first off, I think Stephen says, what insults me is when you say something and pretend like you didn't say it. We heard what you said. Then you said, they taking me out of context. Nigga, play the tape. Show me what it is that you said that was different than I perceived you saying. Right. You said it, right? You said that black people relate to Donald Trump. How? If I know a black dude who in his 70s, close to 80s, is still committing crime, I'm not hanging out with that nigga.
Right,
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
This dude
is different.
what it says more about what you think is relatable and what you perceive as relatable. It says more about you than it does about him. Once you got convicted of raping somebody, I can't fuck with you. I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
When you committed fraud, I can't mess with you. So it says more about what this dude thinks is, because when you make those kind of broad statements, what you're saying is, from my perspective, from my vantage point, these Stephen A. Smith, first off,
listen, he said what he said, and he has the right to his opinion. But he came on to say that this was the truth and that he is pretty much speaking for all black people. Like Dr. Rashad said, most Black people will never be arrested. I know that a lot of people like to make it seem like that is a commonality in the African American community, but it's not, and it's not fair. It's just not the truth. It's not the truth. But it's okay to have your thoughts and opinions on not being a Democrat, not voting for a particular group of people just because you feel like that's what you have to do because of your ethnicity. But this is a different thing. And trying to equate Democrat versus Republican when it comes to Donald Trump and saying that he has all of these charges and Black people can relate to him because of what he's going through in the criminal justice system is absolutely ridiculous. Because Donald Trump, he is the same man that said that the Central Park Five, even after it came out that they were wrongfully convicted and they were exonerated, never backtracked, never apologized, and still was standing on the word of the woman who backtracked to say that these men did what they did to her, or what she was accusing them of doing to her. Even after she retracted what she said, he was still believing her first word and refused. Okay. So for him to want to equate Black people with this man that still said that the Central Park Five did what they did and they should be in prison, that says people who rob or steal from stores, not saying that's a good thing because it's not, should be executed, but all of the stuff that he has done, he should not be held accountable for. Give me a break. But him saying that his words were misconstrued, no, he said exactly what he said. But listen, I get it. There are some people, and definitely there are some, not a lot, but there are some Black people that will windmill on social media and in these comment sections for that man, and he would not drop a drip of piss on them if they were on fire. But whatever. Again, people have the right to like who they like, but don't try to put that on Black America to say that everyone in Black America relates with him because of what he's going through in the criminal justice system, because it's just not true. So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.